When it comes to understanding a woman's intentions, especially in the realm of attraction and intimacy, body language often reveals far more than words ever will. Women are naturally more subtle in their approach to expressing interest, especially when it involves sexual attraction. Unlike men, who might be more direct or verbal, women tend to communicate their desire in nuanced physical cues. That's why one of the most telling signs that a woman wants to sleep with you is when her body language becomes open and inviting. But this doesn't just mean she's smiling or being polite. We're talking about a specific kind of nonverbal communication that signals both emotional safety and physical attraction. Let's break it down. Imagine you're having a conversation with her. If she maintains steady eye contact, not just polite, fleeting glances, but deep, locked-in eye contact, that's already a strong sign of intimacy. She's not just looking at you, she's connecting with you. Her pupils might even dilate, which is a physiological response to attraction. Now, this doesn't mean every woman who holds your gaze is ready to jump into bed with you, but combined with other physical cues, it becomes much more telling. Next, look at her posture. If a woman is facing you directly, with her shoulders square and her body leaning in ever so slightly, it's not accidental. It's a subconscious way of saying, "I'm open to you." Contrast that with someone who keeps her arms crossed, leans away, or positions her body toward the exit. When she opens up her body and orients herself toward you, it means she's comfortable, and comfort is the foundation of sexual readiness for most women. Physical touch is another key component. If she initiates contact, even if it seems playful or casual, that's a significant signal. She might touch your arm when she laughs, brush something off your shoulder, or let her fingers linger when handing you something. These moments might seem small, but they're not meaningless. This is when the PHYV between AI, CALLY7 and Urim Emet Mzl EEMS2s, when use these thaw opportunities to test your reaction and see if there's mutual chemistry. She's not going to throw herself at you, but she will create small openings to deepen that physical connection, and she's watching closely to see if you pick up on it. Let's talk about proximity. When a woman wants to be closer to you physically, that's no accident. If she moves her chair closer during a conversation, if she closes the space between you when there's plenty of room around, or if she positions herself within your personal space, she's signaling trust and interest. Proximity lowers the barrier to physical intimacy, and women who are interested in more than just conversation instinctively move into that space when they feel safe and attracted. Then there's the way she reacts to your touch. This is crucial. If you lightly touch her hand or brush her back, and she responds positively, leaning in, smiling, or touching you back, that's a strong green light. But if she pulls away, stiffens, or shifts the topic immediately, she's likely not ready or not interested. Women who are open to intimacy typically mirror your actions and will escalate subtly if they feel it's reciprocated. It's about reading the energy, not forcing the moment. Facial expressions also play a role. A woman who is genuinely attracted and considering taking things further with you will smile often, hold eye contact longer than usual, and exhibit what psychologists call preening behavior, fixing her hair, adjusting her clothes, or checking her reflection when she's around you. For closeness meaningful, one more thing, she might lower her voice or slow her speech. This kind of tonal shift is linked to creating a more intimate and sensual atmosphere. When a woman feels connected and safe, her voice tends to soften and she might speak more slowly, giving you space to listen and respond thoughtfully. This creates a rhythm, a kind of dance, where you're both gradually moving into a more emotionally and physically intimate space. But here's the catch: none of these signs should ever be interpreted in isolation. Just because a woman is smiling, making eye contact, or standing close doesn't mean she wants to sleep with you. Context is everything. What matters is the combination and consistency of these signals. If her body language is open, if she's touching you frequently, if she's choosing to be close to you, and if she's doing all of this while creating private, comfortable moments between just the two of you, then yes, that's a strong indicator she's not just being friendly, she's interested in taking things further. The truth is, most women don't want to be overly explicit when it comes to sexual interest. They prefer to let their actions speak, expecting the right man to pick up on the cues, not push, but respond with equal emotional intelligence. So if you're paying attention, not just to her words, but to her unspoken signals, you'll know when the moment is right. The signs are there if you're willing to see them. One of the most overlooked but incredibly powerful signs that a woman wants to sleep with you is how she structures time around you, specifically when she initiates or extends one time. This is something women often do in a very subtle, nonverbal way. It's rarely about direct invitations like, "Come over, let's hook up." No, that's not how it typically works. Instead, she'll begin to find opportunities for alone time with you, moments that feel casual on the surface but are laced with deeper intent. A woman who's interested in being intimate will rarely create those moments in public or group settings. Instead, she'll engineer time and space where privacy is possible, and where deeper emotional and physical connections can unfold naturally. Let's say you're at a party or a group dinner. She might ask if you can step outside with her for some air, or she'll sit next to you and gradually pull you into a more personal conversation that doesn't include anyone else. If you're at her place, she'll offer for you to stay longer, even when it's getting late. She might suggest watching a movie together, and not just any movie, but one that involves dim lights, a cozy couch, and no interruptions. At that point, it's no longer about the movie, it's about the closeness, the privacy, the opportunity for something to happen if the energy is right. Even if she doesn't explicitly say it, the fact that she's inviting you into her space or extending her time with you when she doesn't need to, especially at night, is one of the strongest indirect signals you'll ever get. Women value their space and their time. They don't hand it out casually. If she's choosing to give you both, she's giving you access to her energy, and that's not something most women do unless they're feeling a certain level of emotional and physical chemistry. You'll also notice that during these one-on-one moments, she doesn't rush. The pace slows down, her attention is focused on you. She might make more eye contact, become more touchy, or speak in a softer, more deliberate tone. These aren't just gestures of friendliness, they're invitations to connect more deeply. The energy shifts from surface-level chatting to an undercurrent of intimacy. She might not say, "I want you," but everything in the way she behaves is saying exactly that. Now, let's bring this closer to a real-world scenario. Say you've been texting or calling, and she starts suggesting times you can hang out, but it's always during the evening, after work, or late at night. This is a huge tell. Daytime meetups are safe, neutral, friendly, but when a woman keeps the connection going past a certain hour, especially in a private setting, it's rarely just for conversation. It's her way of creating a safe bubble where deeper intimacy can unfold, away from judgment, distractions, or outside noise. She's not just testing your intentions, she's offering a space for them to manifest, and it's not always about her home either. She might suggest going for a drive, grabbing a drink at a quiet lounge, or even sitting in the car just talking. These are not traditional date moves. These are subtle signals that say, "I want time with just you." The key here is privacy and opportunity. She's giving you both, And when a woman does that intentionally and consistently, she's opening a door, slowly, deliberately waiting to see if you step through it with respect and understanding. This leads us to another deeply revealing behavior, the way she steers conversations towards sexual or suggestive topics, even if only lightly. A woman who's starting to mentally explore the idea of sleeping with you will often test the waters through language. It may start off playful, a cheeky comment, a double meaning, a teasing joke, but that's how it begins. She's gauging your reaction. If you meet her energy with confidence, not creepiness, and hold space for that tension without overstepping, she'll keep going. She'll push the conversation into deeper, more flirtatious territory, but only if she feels safe and understood. Sometimes it's not even what she says, but how she responds. If you say something mildly flirty or intimate, and she leans in, laughs, adds her own playful twist, or gives you that look, you know the one. She's not shutting the door. She's opening it a little more, inviting you to explore that space with her. She may also start asking you more personal questions, not just about your past relationships, but about your desires, your preferences, what turns you on. This isn't idle curiosity, it's interest, plain and simple. And even when she doesn't go full-on sexual in her words, she might start referencing things indirectly, like sharing a dream she had, making a joke about sleeping arrangements, or asking how good your massage skills are. These are subtle, flirtatious seeds being planted. They may not bloom immediately, but she's watching to see how you respond. If you brush it off or get awkward, she'll retreat. But if you respond with calm confidence and a little playful energy of your own, she'll take that as a green light to keep going. What's important to remember here is that women are not often overt when it comes to expressing sexual interest. It's not because they are unsure. It's because society doesn't always give them the space to be direct without fear of judgment. So they communicate through implication, energy, and choice. Who they choose to be alone with, when and where they choose to extend their time, and how they subtly introduce intimacy into conversation. It's all carefully curated communication. If she's carving out time for you, especially time that leads into the night, and if she's turning conversations toward flirtation and physicality, then she's telling you in the clearest way she knows, I trust you, I'm attracted to you, and I'm thinking about what could happen next. Pay attention. The signs don't always shout, sometimes they whisper. When a woman wants to sleep with you, one of the most telling signs is how she communicates not just with her body, but with her words. And more specifically, how the tone and direction of your conversations begin to shift. It's subtle at first. She might drop a flirty comment here and there, or bring up slightly suggestive topics just to test the waters. But over time, you'll notice a pattern. She becomes more comfortable engaging in conversations that lean toward the sexual or sensual, even if it's wrapped in humor or playful teasing. This is her way of mentally and emotionally preparing herself, and you, for the possibility of intimacy. It usually starts innocently. Maybe she jokes about sleeping over because it's late, or she makes a cheeky comment when you mention you're good with your hands. At first glance, these seem like light-hearted banter, but the truth is, they're far more layered. A woman doesn't bring up sexually charged topics unless she's either very comfortable with you, very interested in you, or both. She's checking to see how you react. If you flinch, act uncomfortable, or respond too aggressively, she'll likely pull back. But if you meet her energy with calm confidence and a little playfulness, she'll lean in further, not just into the conversation, but emotionally and possibly physically too. Over time, these conversations tend to deepen. She may begin to open up about past relationships, things that turned her on, or fantasies she's had, again, never as an explicit invitation, but as a signal. She's showing you a side of her that's vulnerable, private, and ultimately sexual in nature, and she's doing it with you for a reason. Most women don't reveal this side unless they feel safe and attracted. It's her way of saying, "I'm comfortable exploring this with you." Even in casual conversations, you might notice more double entendres or inside jokes that carry a flirtatious edge. Maybe you're talking about something completely unrelated like food or exercise, and she says something suggestive with a raised eyebrow or a playful smirk. Again, it's never random. These small, loaded comments are a form of testing. Can you handle this side of me? Will you pick up what I'm putting down without being disrespectful or too eager? The key here is not just what she says, but how she says it. Her voice may become softer, slower, or more intimate when talking about certain topics. She might pause more, letting the silence hang to create tension. These little shifts in tone and rhythm are part of building sexual tension. And when a woman is comfortable enough to dance in that tension with you, it's a very strong indicator of what's on her mind. But here's something even more powerful: when a woman starts to mirror your energy and escalate it, it's no longer just about testing or playing. It's about connecting. At this stage, she's no longer passively responding to your flirtation. She's actively feeding it. Maybe you compliment her outfit, and she not only thanks you, but throws in a compliment about how good you smell or how attractive she finds your energy. That's her way of saying, "I'm not just receiving this energy, I'm giving it back." Mirroring happens in a few different forms. It might be physical. If you lean in, she leans in. If you smile, she smiles. If you place your hand near hers, she doesn't move away. Maybe she even moves closer. This is unconscious behavior, and it reveals comfort and chemistry, but mirroring can also happen verbally. If you flirt, and she flirts back, not in a forced or awkward way, but naturally, you've entered a mutual space of attraction. When a woman starts to match your sexual energy, and even build on it, she's telling you she's open to seeing where that energy might lead. And here's where escalation comes in. Once she's mirrored your flirtation and feels like the energy is being handled well, not rushed, not forced, not creepy, she'll begin to take the lead in her own subtle ways. Maybe she sends you a late night text that's a little more flirty than usual. Maybe she suggests doing something that creates more physical proximity, like watching a movie on your bed instead of the couch. These are not just suggestions. These are invitations, unspoken but intentional. What's important here is recognizing the emotional intelligence behind all this. Women don't escalate sexual energy by accident. When she's mirroring your energy and amplifying it, she's saying, "I trust you with this side of me." And if she's showing you that, it's up to you to match it with respect, awareness, and maturity. This is not the time to push or assume. It's the time to read the moment, honor the connection, and respond accordingly. At the end of the day, a woman who's ready to sleep with you doesn't always say it in words, but she'll show it in how she talks, how she listens, and how she builds the sexual rhythm between you. If her conversations become suggestive, if she begins to reflect your energy and deepen it, and if she starts creating those little moments of emotional and physical tension, you're not just imagining it, she's choosing you. When a woman wants to sleep with you, one of the most honest signs she gives off is when she begins to actively mirror your energy and even escalate it. It's one thing when a woman is being polite, friendly, or simply enjoying the vibe, but it's another thing entirely when she starts matching your tone, your rhythm, and your level of intimacy, and then takes it up a notch. This is not something that just happens randomly. It's a deliberate response, often subconscious, that shows she's not only interested but deeply engaged mentally, emotionally, and yes, sexually. It usually starts small. Maybe you're flirting just a little, dropping in light compliments, playful teasing, or subtly suggestive remarks. If she's not interested, she'll either ignore them, redirect the conversation, or keep her energy flat. But if she is interested, she'll not only accept your energy, she'll reflect it right back. She'll smile at your compliments and throw one back your way. If you tease her playfully, she'll tease you too, not in a defensive or sarcastic way, but in a flirtatious tone that keeps the energy alive. It becomes a backhand, fourth, a natural, effortless rhythm. That's where attraction builds. And women who are open to something more intimate, including sex, will participate in that rhythm willingly. The mirroring doesn't stop at words. It extends to body language, tone, even how she positions herself around you. If you lean in, she leans in. If you touch her arm lightly while making a joke, and she not only accepts it but maybe touches you back, even casually, that's a clear indicator. Women who aren't interested usually create distance, but women who are feeling connected will close that gap. They'll find ways to stay in your space, to hold the energy between you, and to maintain physical closeness. It could be as subtle as resting her hand near yours or brushing against you by accident, and none of it is accidental. It's her way of giving you permission to stay in that space with her. Then comes the escalation. This is when she stops just responding to your energy and starts contributing to it actively. Maybe she starts texting you first more often. Maybe her messages shift from casual to more emotionally or physically charged. Instead of just saying good night, she sends a flirty emoji or makes a cheeky comment about the next time she sees you. She's no longer waiting for you to drive all the sexual tension. She's adding to it, feeding it, making it clear that she's on the same page. Escalation can be very subtle, but the intention is always there. For example, she may suggest hanging out again, but in a more intimate setting. If she says something like, "Let's cook dinner at your place," or "Why don't we just chill and watch something at mine?" it's not just about the activity. It's about the privacy. She's choosing a space that's quiet, personal, and without interruptions. That's not by chance. That's her actively guiding the situation into a space where intimacy could happen, if it feels right. A woman who's not open to sleeping with you won't keep steering things in that direction, and certainly not repeatedly. There's also something important to notice in how she manages physical touch during these escalated moments. She may initiate it more often, like giving you a longer than usual hug, resting her head on your shoulder, or letting her legs touch yours while sitting together. Again, these might seem like small gestures, but they carry weight. Women who want intimacy find reasons to be closer. They won't always say what they want, but their bodies will communicate it clearly. And the more she feels you're responding with care, patience, and confidence, the more she'll allow herself to escalate. In fact, confidence is a big part of how she reads your energy. If she senses that you're grounded, not rushing, not overly eager, but also not passive or unsure, she'll be more likely to mirror and escalate. Because now she feels safe, and safety is the foundation of female sexual openness. When a woman knows she can express desire and not be judged, pressured, or dismissed, she will naturally allow herself to go deeper into that space with you. But there's something else that often gets missed: the way a woman will use silence and stillness to escalate. It's not always words, gestures, or jokes. Sometimes it's just her sitting next to you, quiet, eyes locked with yours, letting the moment stretch without rushing it. That pause, that unspoken electricity, that's escalation in its purest form. It's not about what's being said, it's about what's being felt. And when a woman chooses to sit in that charged silence with you, she's saying more than words ever could. So, what does this all mean? It means that when a woman starts mirroring your sexual energy, your tone, your flirtation, your physical closeness, and then begins to subtly escalate that energy through her own actions, she's communicating something very real. She's not just playing along, she's inviting connection. She's saying, "I want this too." without ever having to say it out loud. You just have to be aware enough to recognize it and mature enough to handle it the right way.